Hi, my name is Gareth. In this lesson, we are going to go over some basics for using Microsoft Word. To start using Word, you need to open the app. This could be in your Start menu, or it could be pinned to the desktop. You can also choose it by right-clicking in a folder or on your desktop and choosing it from the New menu. If you have more than one document open at a time, you can click the Word app icon at the bottom of the desktop in your taskbar to choose the one you want to continue. If you are using the browser version of the app through Office.com, you can select the dotted icon in the top left to open the application menu. Here you can choose the app itself or just go straight to a new document. When you open Word, you see a window like this. We can see the toolbars and the ribbon at the top, menu options, the scroll bar on the side. But the biggest part of the screen is the empty blank space in the middle, waiting for you to type some text into it. When you sit down to type in the editor, you may have a very specific purpose in mind, so it can help to search for a template to give you a starting point. To load a template, you'll need to go to File, then click New. If a template is not available, you can use the search bar to look for the one that suits your needs. We can also open a document that already has text in it. We can do this either by clicking the document in our File Explorer, or from the app we can go to File and Open. In the Open menu, there is a section called Recent, which may show us files we want, or we can look for the file using either the search bar or the hierarchy, or we can choose Browse and look for the file we want in a File Explorer window. We can pick what file we want and then click Open, or simply double-click the file. For now, we'll pick the practice text file, which we prepared in advance. Try to open this document yourself and follow along, or go back to it after you finish the video. The Enter key is used to start new lines. Try it by putting the cursor between the sentences and hitting Enter. Many of the features we want to practice are on the home bar. Remember that what you see on your bar may change based on how big your screen is, so you may need to adjust the window or open the menu by clicking on it to see all the options. First, we can change the style of the text to a standard by selecting from the Styles menu. Here we have chosen Heading 1, but there are many options to choose from. To change font, we can highlight the sentence and then choose the font we want from the list. When you highlight text, it may bring up the font menu to help you make this choice easier for you to pick. If we want to bold text, we can do so by clicking here. This same menu will let us italicize text, underline it, add a strike through, or even make the text into sub and superscript. Now the highlighter. You can click and drag to select the text and then click the highlighter button, which will add the highlight over the selected text. Or you can click the highlighter tool in advance, turn your cursor into a highlighter. Click and drag over the text you want highlighted. Clicking the arrow on the highlight button will let you pick from other colors. You can also change font color a few ways. You can put your cursor in a given word and then click the font color button to change the color on just that one word, or you can click and drag to select all the words you want to change, then press the font color button to change to that color. Clicking the down arrow will open a menu that has many other colors to pick from. Changing font size can be done here. You can also type the number of the font you want if it isn't in the list, or you can press the buttons to the right to increase or decrease the size a step at a time. If an option we want is not visible on the menu, you can click this button to make a pop-up menu with more to choose from. Let's look at the paragraph menu next. Here we can center or align the text with one side of the page or the other. Looking here, we have different options for adding lists with bullets, numbers, and a mix of other options. Meanwhile, these buttons increase or decrease the indentation of a new line or list item. This button controls spacing between lines and paragraphs on your document. Spacing can be very important for making your document easy to read. This button adds shading, which puts color in the background of a line of text. Notice that it doesn't highlight the words. It changes that whole line of the page to that color. Sometimes we want to copy a sentence. We can select the text using click and drag, then use either the right-click menu or press Ctrl and C to add a copy to the clipboard. If we want to remove something and put it somewhere else, we can use the Cut option instead, either from the menu or with the shortcut Ctrl and X. Whether we copy or cut, the text is now on the clipboard. Then we can paste the text with the same right-click menu or with Ctrl and V. Especially if you're pasting from a different document, you may have more than one kind of paste option listed in your menu. The first option uses the destination theme. This means it will try to match what you paste to the format of the document you are putting it into. The second option will try to keep the source formatting, so it will look like it did in the document you took it from. The third option treats it like a picture. We'll get into adding pictures to documents in another lesson. Imagine we're reading a very big document, and there is a keyword we want to find in it. We can search for this keyword by using the find command. If we know there is a word that we need to change, the replace command comes in. Be careful about just hitting replace all, because it can replace parts of words instead of just whole words. Look at the More menu to change settings for how Word will know what to replace. Pressing Ctrl and A will let us select all the text in our document. Now we can see what happens if we press the Remove Formatting button. This will undo most, but not all, of the changes we've made to the document. Words that we've typed or replaced, lines that we've added or removed, and highlights will stay, but everything else, including font and paragraph spacing, will revert to defaults. Eventually, we will want someone else to see our hard work. Printing our document can be done by clicking File and then selecting Print, giving us a set of menu options like this. We can change how many copies we want, what printer it prints to, print front and back or only on one side, or even adjust the page setup. Another option is to click the Share button, which will let us add our document to the OneDrive or attach it to an email. It is often preferable to save a document and then share it, rather than sharing it directly from the app. When you use the Save As command, you can change a file's type. Most Word documents use the .doc or docx format, but you can change this to .pdf or something else based on your needs. Note that changing the file type can change some of the formatting in your document, so it may not look quite the same when you're done. This brings us to our last option, which is to export your file as a PDF, which will preserve all our hard work and make it ready for publishing. A published PDF is not easily changed, but it can be the best way to present your finished work. Open your own document on your device and try to follow the instructions. When you're done, take some time to explore and see what else you can do.